Round 7 of this season's Ferrari Road to Glory is upon us. As you can see, we're once again suited up in the red and white from the last round in Imola. If you haven't seen that video, guys, the last episode, link in the top right. Spoiler warning is ahead, so go check it out before we jump into those spoilers. But yeah, we're going to jump into this weekend's episode and the action on track. Monaco, Charles Leclerc's home race, our teammate's home race, so he's going to have extra pressure and the stakes have been raised. Upgrade wise, we have improvements on our car, wing mirrors and the front wing profile. The mirrors are actually an upgrade for this specific race. The front wing and the front nose cone structure arrived in the previous episode for the race at Imola. Those are just basically confirmations of those upgrades arriving. So as you can see, we're going to spend our points on durability upgrades. That's currently all we have available. We then get ready for the weekend and we're going to quickly confirm the weather forecast, which is dry, no rain expected, and also the upgrades for this weekend, which is going to be the wing mirrors, as I mentioned, for drag reduction. So that's going to be just a minor upgrade on the car this weekend, but still it's going to help us out and help us close the gap to Red Bull in terms of outright performance. You can see we also have a major on the engine along with those two minors we just purchased on durability. So 3 upgrades on the way, one of them performance related. As you can see, here is the performance chart. Mercedes bringing a huge upgrade package along with Alfa Romeo, and we are now pretty much neck and neck with Red Bull. You can see also at the bottom, the season has been very up and down. 3 podiums, 3 DNFs, but we arrive here third in the championship, looking to hopefully close in on the championship leader, Charles Leclerc. With that done, we jump into Friday practice, and I thought this weekend we would have a brand new helmet, but things didn't go quite according to plan. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Before that though, you can see in the bottom right, we are going to run this weekend with some pretty big engine wear on the MGUH. You can see the icons getting pretty red now, so we are struggling with that, but this is a track where engine power isn't key, so you can pretty much get away with a used engine. You can see practice was smooth, decent tyre wear, decent fuel usage, but most importantly, decent pace, as we finished top of the pile and by quite some margin, 7/10 of a second, which is absolutely massive for practice, highlighting that we're going to have some very strong pace this weekend. We also, of course, as always, got a bunch of discounts, quite a few of them actually on the chassis, which is quite encouraging because that's actually a productive upgrade for us, which is going to help us go faster. And then acclaim wise, we're very close now to level 8. Now, I mentioned the new helmet. You can see I took these practice shots and the helmet was looking pristine. Ferrari sponsors, you guys have been asking for it. I made a new kind of top of the helmet design, but for some reason they didn't load in correctly into my career mode, and I didn't realize at the time, but now I've realized why it isn't working. So when you choose a helmet, the one for career mode, you don't actually pick it from the F1 World customization tab. You actually have to pick your career mode helmet inside the career mode menu, which once you've got the weekend underway, what you're doing right here doesn't actually count for anything. So lesson learned, and for the next race we will have our new helmet available and on the car, which hopefully you guys will get to see properly from onboard. Also these kind of 3D TV style shots before the qualifying and race sessions begin. So with that done out the way, rant aside, let's get into qualifying. Currently clearing Charles Leclerc, who was on an outlap. We're currently on our first push lap. Just looking to set the banker and see what the pace is looking like around here, and want to try and have a nice smooth session. The barriers are very close. This is the first time I'm driving Monaco on my new wheel, so I'm probably not pushing the limits as much as I normally would do, as I'm trying to get comfortable. This is a really important track for throttle control, which is also another thing I'm getting used to. And yeah, overall just trying to get comfortable with my new equipment. We set a 1 minute 9.0 and we go straight to P1 on our very first lap. Not sure what the gap is to P2, but a very good opener. We get out of the way for Leclerc to go through and crack on with his lap. And I'm actually going to go for a second attempt here. I went for a cool down lap. I have enough fuel and I've got a full charge of battery. So we're going to go again and look to improve. Leclerc.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Did go second with that lap which you saw him drive by before. So we are now going to look to improve as we try and find some time through turn 1, which we do manage to find a little bit, taking a bit more curb on the inside and being a bit more aggressive, then staying tight through through Massenet into Casino, now into Mirabeau, down to second gear through here. We lose a little bit of time. Not exactly sure why. Maybe I kept the throttle on the telemetry, but we got a lot of understeer and didn't quite get the nose in at any point. Then we start to force some time back through Portier, and you can see we get a decent exit into the tunnel, which of course is going to be easy flat. We then head into the Nouvelle chicane, brake down to third gear, left, right, quick little flick, direction change on point. Exit wasn't great, so we lose a lot of the time gained. We then throw the car into to back, through the swimming pool, part one, then to part two, getting much closer to the barriers on this time around, and now into La Rascasse, also staying a bit tighter to the barrier, and you can see we're just finding a lot more time as we also get a great exit onto the main straight, and we're going to improve by 0.3 of a second, moving the goalposts into the 1 minute 8.6s, which is insane. We go back to the pits, and the gap is 1.5 seconds to the next car, Charles Leclerc. So I'm gonna not go back out because we don't have to. I was so shocked by the gap, I had to double check the difficulty, and it is 110, so it's just a very fast track for us. I mean, we know that AI historically have been poor here, so yeah, pretty much others did improve on their final run, but couldn't lay a glove on us. We're on pole, it's another 1-2, front row lockout in Leclerc's home race, but crucially, we are looking to spoil the party and beat him. The one takeaway I want to mention is McLaren confirming their improved form from the last couple of races as they get a second row lockout with Norris and Piastri over a tenth quicker than Max Verstappen in P5. So it does seem like it's Ferrari versus McLaren, and Red Bull just don't seem to be that quick. Even though they're number one in the performance chart, it doesn't seem to translate to actual pace in the sessions. So yeah guys, qualifying done, let's get into the race and let's try to convert yet another pole into a race win and close that gap on Charles Leclerc.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco, then, is not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo. And although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Magnussen, Perez, Joe, Ocon, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Albon, Tsunoda, Bottas, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Here we go then, time for the race. I'm not going to lie, the objective is simple, we have to win. I mean, there's not really much more to say. We have a huge advantage over the AI, so let's make sure we lock this up, wrap it up, and get the W secured and get closer in the championship. One thing I will note is strategy. We're going to start on mediums as well, just to make sure we've got a good enough tyre for the race start to kind of push, be aggressive, get a gap and pull away. I do think that AI might be stronger in race trim than me, or not than me, but stronger than qualifying, so the gap won't be as big, especially because you have to manage tyres, fuel and tyre temps, and that's a bit more of an issue around here. But Other than that, it should be fine. Fuel is about perfect. We've got 0.3 of a lap extra. But yeah, overall, guys, we're locked in, ready to go. Let's send it, and let's try and convert pole to win, and hopefully fastest lap as well. Interestingly, we have a bit of a tyre split. So Leclerc, same strategy as us, same idea. Everyone else seems to be on hard tyre. So ideally, hopefully myself and Leclerc break away to lock in a 1-2, and hopefully it'll be a big points haul for us. Here we go then. Race start. Absolutely key. Lights on. Lights out. And away we go. Leclerc did get a good start.
Okay, we're hitting the rated limits on the MGUH. The power unit is going to be more prone to overheating.
Oh wow, what a start from Verstappen. Jumping both McLarens. Absolutely insane from him. Hamilton also gaining a bit of ground. Leclerc trying to pressure. Early doors here, so just trying to see if we can hold on to the race lead. Got to readjust for the fuel load as well. Car's going to be a lot heavier. But as you know, Monaco is notoriously difficult to overtake. So as long as we make no stupid mistakes, we're going to be absolutely fine. Already you can see the gap there just floating over a second briefly. Although Leclerc will gain a lot on the straight. We are fully winged out on 50-50 wing. So we're going to be a mobile chicane on the straight. Luckily, there's not many of those around here, so we should be able to open a gap and pull away. Let's do that. Well, the pace is translating from qualifying to race very nicely. Gap already 2 seconds, and DRS will be enabled next lap. Only one DRS zone, of course, so not much of an issue. Bit of a scruffy last 2 corners, but we're still gaining as we're burning battery.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Gap now 3 seconds. We can start to now just get comfortable in this race. We don't have to push anymore now. Verstappen has dropped Norris out of DRS range. I think Hamilton could be an outside shot at a podium here because you'll have to box before Verstappen and Norris for the hard heart, so he may undercut them. Other than that, it's looking pretty decent. And barring any surprises, it looks like an only 1-2 prediction here for us. Vehicle condition.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Ooh, that was close. Careful. Got now 10 seconds in 10 laps. Absolutely insane. We've entered the first phase, and the tyres do feel pretty crap. I'm not going to lie. It's also showing in my pace, but also Leclerc, he's been caught.
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
On cue. Leclerc losing some time now to Verstappen, who is within 2 seconds. It was like 3.5 at one point. So the mediums are starting to fade quite quickly. Vehicle condition.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Oh.
We've got some information on Hamilton for you. Okay, they're out of this race.
Lewis out. No safety car though. He's pulled over at the final corner. Piastri back up to 5th from McLaren. So Lewis out. Now this is our scheduled pit stop lap. I'm going to extend, which will make Leclerc extend it as well. I don't want Leclerc to feed out in traffic. Even though he's my championship rival, I'm playing the team game here. I want the Constructors title as well this season. So I want him to stay out, to not get stuck behind any slow, medium tyre runners. So it will improve his chances of a clear track. So we'll stay out, and thus that will mean he will now box end of lap 19. So we'll now box at the end of lap 20. Interestingly, nobody pit on that lap. So everyone must be on hard. So Leclerc will pit this lap. We'll stay out one more. And that should take care of business. There we go. On cue.
Charles is in for his stop now.
In we go then. Nice and easy. No need to push. We are at no risk whatsoever. Fuel is being recovered. Battery will also charge up now in the pits. Let's not speed. We had a pretty bad run of speeding in my last league race here. Got green timing on that one, interestingly enough. Luckily, it doesn't really matter. So a 2.6 will do just fine from Ferrari. And we're just going to get these hard tyres warmed up. We'll make a push to try and get the extra point, even though everyone's going to switch to mediums behind us. Hopefully we're still quick enough to go for the fast lap with these tyres. Leclerc's out in traffic.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
which is what I wanted to avoid, but hey ho. Classic Ferrari, I guess. Verstappen pits, so the hard tyre runner is now starting to box, so that will release Leclerc, but Leclerc stuck in traffic here could be at risk of a Verstappen overcut, so we're about to find out. Red Bull reacting. Let's find out, and let's see if Verstappen is ahead or behind of Leclerc. Behind, just. Leclerc also overtakes Gasly into turn 1, which is the person who was holding him up, so Leclerc now released into clean air. Right, let's go for it. Bit of traffic, but we're going to try and go for the fastest lap and the extra point. Vehicle condition.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Absolutely on it this lap. Giving it full beans. Riding the barrier up to back. I reckon this will do the trick. 1:10.3. Beat that. Let's see. Let's bring this car home now, though. We've got a bit of traffic to deal with as well. You can see on the mini-map we're going to lap a lot of cars this race. So let's just hope we get through them cleanly. Okay, not an issue. If it had been open, different story around Monaco, but that's not a problem. Here we are then, last lap of the race. Look at the gap in the top left. We just lapped Pierre Gasly, who's running in P9. This has been a level of dominance in terms of a performance, that of the early 2000s and Michael Schumacher years. What a drive, what a message. The next car was going to lap was Sergio Perez. Wow.
Thank you. I need a moment. Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
That's it then for another nail-biting Monaco Grand Prix. We were on the edge of our seats the whole time, but they've come through to take a stunning victory. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Job done in Monaco. What a drive, what a performance. Also, we do get the fastest lap of the race and we lapped everyone up to 9th place. As I mentioned, the next one was going to be Checo Perez, which is insane. Anyway, let's look at the final standings and also, crucially, the championship. Verstappen does manage to leapfrog the McLarens after starting P5. It's a 1-2 for the team, Leclerc second, and then that does mean if we look at the championship, you can see we're now 15 points behind Charles. He still leads, Verstappen 4 points behind us, so it's still very much wide open. This race was a bit of an anomaly in terms of how dominant I was. Constructors, we lead by 43, now the gap is pretty large, but guys, overall a smooth, successful, straightforward weekend. The car was phenomenal, and we go again in the next one. Anyway guys, like and subscribe. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe. Like I said before, as always, a big shout out to the members for supporting all the content that I make. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and let's go back from me.